It has been called the war of brother against brother, and so it was. A more tragically exact description would be hard to come by. The soldier in gray fought with fiery bravery that was rooted in a proud way of life, a tradition in which honor and gallantry were deeply fundamental. His skill and courage were never depleted, but in the end, his resources would be. The men of the Union forces at first suffered from the effects of overconfidence and disunity in their high commanders, but their ultimate mission, the preservation of the Union, was too desperately important to allow prolonged discouragement. On each man in blue, a profound responsibility rested. Whether the nation endured would depend heavily on his faith in the Union's cause and his ability to prove that faith in the most demanding of all testing grounds. So it was that the nation, searching in its agony for the promise of its future, found itself looking into the faces of its sons. The longings, fears, and loneliness of a boy coming suddenly to manhood. This was so like the developing state of the nation itself. Soldier and nation together found that their fears and doubts were not so strong as their faith in the cause of a unified country. The soldier in blue kept that faith and fought for it with steadfastness and courage. And a grateful people in the midst of war forged a medal to honor that courage. In the swirling fury of this war of American against American, the Medal of Honor was born. The end we know, because we live in the unity that this tragic war preserved. And in national shrines like Gettysburg, we memorialize the men of both sides who gave of themselves unreservedly for what they believed to be right. Here are the names. The last of the men in blue are gone, but the Union they preserved remains and honors for all time the men who made it possible. And right over here is a roll call of names from the years which followed the Civil War, the time when the nation grew, expanding westward, the West. Charged with the task of making the frontier safe was the regular army. Out west, that meant the cavalry. The troopers who rode into that wide country were vastly outnumbered. And their adversary was often a master of combat, a rawhide tough and experienced fighter, dangerous to underestimate. This era in America's growth has passed into legend, but real men lived it. Many were awarded the Medal of Honor. The names of their battlegrounds are obscure now, most of them. Others will never be forgotten. Names like Little Bighorn, where 24 of the men who stood with Custer won the nation's highest award. But wherever he fought, on the plains, among the buttes, or in the timber, he got the job done.